that way, a lot of our ideas have been explored in science fiction, and we're sort of materializing them through science fiction by making people think about that thing they once saw, and they're like, okay, can we do it right now? Like, do we have the tech?
Yeah, I think it is very much so. Like, science fiction has this uncanny ability to portray most of these ideas pretty well. Personally, I mean, that's the only way most of us get it now, to some extent. Most of these large topics, like let's say something like the whole interstellar rendering part of the thing that they used to launch off. I'm not the wormhole or whatever.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I think it's a wormhole, right? That you jump off. Yeah. So the whole rendering for that was based off of some actual calculations, and the people who rendered it wrote a paper which they actually published because they got findings saying that this is what it actually does look like, because it's off of real data. So in terms of that, I would say that science fiction is almost like data visualization.
100%, for sure. Yeah.
It's always been that, and it's really cool. Because otherwise I wouldn't be this into it, or just into like these, or having a space for all these uncanny ideas if it wasn't for that. You have this space to think, let's just say, about, or entertain these thoughts for some time.
True.
That's fun.
Yeah. I sort of feel like, in that sense, Black Mirror has sort of been preparing people to think about scenarios where the world is not the same anymore. And that has something to do with what we're going through right now.
Dude, do you know that Goji and Post Malone, they both are doing crazy doomsday prep?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Goji has been collecting seeds off of like almost every plant. That's what he says. Almost every grain or every crop, he has a seed of, because he says that that's going to be the next current. Everything like just goes to bad shit. He's like, seeds will be the new currency, and that's why I'm just holding up on this. Apparently, Post Malone has bought a bunker somewhere, and he just, I mean, a bunch of these, I bet movie stars bought bunkers, but he's building his own one somewhere over here. But yeah, and they came on H3H3 quite a while ago, and that's where they said all this.
Okay.
But yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Really cool. Doomsday prep. But yeah, man, like, it's really uncanny also how these Black Mirror episodes are actually real in some way. They do get this intel a bit early, mostly, about all these emerging technologies. I don't know how they do it. Like, I don't know if they just go to these conferences and they sit and see what emerging tech's coming. Or they have some insiders. Yeah. Because that whole pizza delivery thing, and then I don't know about the memory backup thing with the lens. I don't know how far that's true, or that small chip thing. But recently, I've been thinking about the way that they portray. I don't know. Do you remember when that lady goes for her surgery and she finds herself, or she first finds her when she wakes up, she's in a clock or whatever, or something like that, and she has to not a clock. She's the personal. She becomes your own personal assistant is you, kind of thing.
Yeah. She basically gets locked in this space.
Yeah, that thing. That episode. Dude, I feel that every time, I feel both my technologies have some part of me in them, you know, because the way I use it and the amount of data that I'm given and the way that I store things, it's a clear carbon copy of me. And I feel in some way, it's almost, again, it's like you're data visualizing a machine, but then it's just you. It's a snapshot of you. So it's always, it just makes you a little more empathetic towards the technology almost.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This also reminds me of something that we spoke about how AIs can distinguish whether you rooted for them or no.
Yeah. About forgot what it's called, bro. Like
what it is called. Yeah,
it's
same.
Rocco's Basilisk.
Rocco's Basilisk. Interesting name as well.
Yeah. It is pretty interesting. I think the idea of a basilisk is like, I don't 100% know this, but a basilisk represents this massive entity that you somehow come across, this thing which is lives in the space of ideas or non-material sense, and different basilisks are, there are different stories around it. So basilisk is some sort of entity, and this one is Rocco's basilisk, which implies that there are more basilisks out there. Yeah.
Yeah. This almost seems like that time crystal thing.
Yeah.
Really, it almost feels like that.
Dude, I actually looked up what a time crystal was a couple of weeks after we had that talk.
Okay.
And it is something interesting. So I feel like there's a good chance that I came across the topic of time crystals at some point, wasn't conscious about it while I was scrolling,
Right.
And the idea came back to me when certain things were triggered. And I'm just like, what the fuck is a time crystal? Why am I remembering this right now?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Sweet. Yeah. Time crystals. But this basilisk thing also reminds me of something else we spoke about, which was the Akashic record. And then I went and saw what Sadhguru said about it. I mean, that was the only video I could find of someone talking about the Akashic record. Generally giving a lowdown. But I guess the best way you could explain it is literally it's like Google. Like it's there within you. You don't need that kind of it's inherent knowledge, but you don't need access to it at all times. It's something that you just go and come off of. When you need it, it's there. When you don't need it, boom, it's gone.
Yeah. That's interesting, man, because that sort of implies that Google has existed before.
Yeah. Yeah, in some way.
Yeah. Like civilizations have had.
Everyone thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have Google. Yeah.
It's like civilizations have had their own version of Google at whatever their development was.
For sure. They had some version of Google. Yeah.